uh, staying busy, teaching a lot of a lot of private lessons, and of course, once the pandemic hit, I obviously came off the road. Was to have had a very busy 2020. It was a really good year on the calendar until everything went awry. But I just started teaching a lot of my students privately that would have been showing up at group lessons, and um, teaching for my local library that I had been going in to do in person classes. I started doing their Monday night class every Monday at the Mead Public Library on their Facebook page, and a local music store that I did a lot of teaching at asked me to do some things for them, and then my webinar stuff. So I've managed to stay pretty busy, and um, actually, the silver lining is that I've been on the road a long time, and so I was very happy to be home with my family and not rambling around. And I got to be my daughter's music teacher because she's been learning virtually, and that's been just a joy. And yeah, I'm not really complaining other than the fact that you know what's happening in terms of people being sick, and we lost a family member to COVID and other things like that. I mean, I've tried to find the silver lining through all this, but it's taken its toll, on everybody. So
That's funny. You actually read my mind because that was
Mhm.
the next question I was going to ask you. Because like me, you and I have been out there probably the most of anybody, just rambling around doing workshops for the last 10 years. Me on the last 10 years, but you even longer. And just your take on the teaching aspect about getting. Do you get? Are you getting to know your students better, or just the teaching aspect of it?
yeah, well, I mean, it's been really rewarding to people who've been turning up my workshops every time I would go out to the East Coast or the West Coast, and I'd see them once or twice a year. I've been in a position to be able to do private lessons where I did not have the time for that before. And it's been very rewarding because the very first thing I do is have my students write a list of goals that they want to achieve. I teach in 3 month increments, and then I take a little break, and then I teach another 3 months, and that's kind of how I've been operating it during the pandemic here. But to watch people say, "I want to learn how to improvise," and they didn't know how to do that prior, and watch them actually evolve and get it, or I want to improve my strumming and watch them become good strummers, or watch them become good finger pickers, and all the different things to see people achieve the goal now, because we're like 7 months in now, so it's that's a nice chunk of time if you're committed to learning ukulele. This is a golden time to be a student. I mean, this
Yep.
is I'm trying to ratchet up what I want to improve on myself here as well. But this is a golden time to be a student. There never will be a better time to be a student because there's so many people teaching, sharing, and offering. You know.
And that's exactly what Pop Up Uke is about. And that's why we get 50 people, 40, 50 people every day here. Just want to push their skills forward. Hey, Rev, let's stop talking and knock something out for us.
Sure. So, well, as a little bit later on in the time here, I'm gonna do a little blues teaching for you. So, I want to play a little blues tune for you, and and this is one of my favorite ones that I love to play, probably the last dozen years or so, by Memphis Slim. It's called "Having Fun," and we all need to be focused on having fun here because life is way too short. Let's go out all night tonight. We won't miss a single sight. Let's go, babe, on our run, just having fun. We'll cover all the spots, constantly drinking those double shots. And then our time has come. We having fun. We'll dance out all our blues and wear out our new suede shoes. Oh, baby, I know we in love and having fun. Oh, play Lil Rev. Now when the moon blots out the sun and our time has come. Oh, baby, I know we in love and having fun.
Well, Little Rev, everybody, who must have grown up on a farm because he sure knows how to milk an ending. Oh boy, I can dish it out and you can take it. I know you can.
I can
Hey,
take it.
that was great. And I've been sitting here. My job is to monitor the comments, and everybody is just flabbergasted. Not only at the number of different strums you used in that tune, and just the licks you thrown in, and just the creativity of it. Um, I think weren't you going to share some blues kind of lick with us today?
Yeah, so um no, if anybody wants this music, I have posted it on my Google Drive. So let me just first say that. And what you do is you go to lilrev.com, Lilrev.com, and as you scroll down, you'll see a little tab that says Sheboygan Ukulele Club. You click on that tab, and that's our Google Drive. And there you'll see a little folder that'll say Jim DeVille Pop Up Uke. And you go to that folder, and what I'm about to teach you is written down in tablature if anybody would like to have that. Okay?
So, do you want me to bring that up now on the share screen, Rev?
If you want to, it doesn't matter. You don't. This is easy enough. I can do it by ear, in the Jim DeVille tradition too.
I'll just show them just for fun at first, and then I'll drop it down and have you show it on the fingerboard.
Okay.
So here it is, everybody. Here's the lick. So the lick is up now. And you can see its numbers. Is it all on one string?
It's all on one string.
Well, then that's enough of that for them.
Yeah. Yep. So what this is a lot of different things. Um, it's a bluesy riff, and it's in the spirit of Freddie King, who is one of my favorite blues guitar players. And what I like about this is that this is a one of many riffs that can be played across a 1-4-5 chord progression. So these are the types of licks that you're going to get the most mileage out of. Everybody thinks that when it comes to soloing, you've got to be moving up and down the fretboard and all around, up and down and all around, right? You don't have to do that. If you find a couple of good licks, a couple of good phrases, you can kind of puzzle piece them together to create a solo. If your name is B.B. King, you can play one riff for the entire progression and make it actually convincing. I'm not that cool, so I can't get away with that. But BB King could. He could play one riff and just it would cover a 12 bar progression. So the riff is what you do is you put your index finger on the 6th fret of the E string, which is a B flat note. Okay, and that's your flatted 7th right there. Okay, and then you're going to, and this is a movable riff, by the way. You're going to drop down your middle finger onto the 7th fret, and then you're going to drop down your ring finger onto the 8th fret. So you're going to get this triplet feel. It's all on one string, and it's just going to go 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. I love playing in triplets, whether I'm improvising or playing Irish stuff. You know, triplets are everywhere in every style of music and every time signature. And so anytime you can get this 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is what I was doing when I was strumming before and doing a triplet strum, and I was going, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 with a fan stroke. So this is the same rhythmic feel. So you start it out slow when you're learning it. Turtle time it. Doesn't even have to sound like a triplet. Remember, with a triplet, the emphasis is always on the 1. So you get hard, soft, soft, hard, soft, soft. Now, if somebody was playing a 12-bar blues and going, and they were doing C, F, G, 12-bar and C, you could play this riff. The entire progression, and it would sound good across every chord. I like these kind of riffs because, you know, if I'm improvising and I'm feeling creative, I can come up with a different solo every time. If I'm not, and I often will create sort of stock solos for my arrangements, I can grab some of these riffs and do whatever I want with them. And so this is part of what I've been trying to teach in a book called 101 Licks for Ukulele that I wrote. And yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff in there. 101 Licks for Ukulele. And a lot of them have that triplet feel. You know, that one's in C. But the secret to remembering this riff is wherever your ring finger lands, if you know what that note is, that's the key you're playing the riff in. Okay? So it just so happens that my ring finger is ending up on a C note, which is the 8th fret of the E string. Okay? So that puts me in C. But I could move that riff anywhere and play that riff and all the way up and down the neck, and wherever my ring finger is, that's what key I'm in. G. Okay, so you can get a lot of mileage out of these riffs, especially because they can be played across the whole progression. Okay, so I had included a song called Banjoiki's Old Time Blues that we could strum together if you guys want to, and or I could play it, and while I'm playing it, you guys could be at home trying to go. But first, before we do, give me just a couple of I do it, you do it. So I'll play the riff, and then when you hear me do it, you try to repeat after me from where you're at. You do it. You do it. Good job. Good. You don't have to do it as fast as me. I'm using all thumb, by the way. And I'm plucking down with my thumb. When you start to get really good with the triplet, you can come on the upbeat too. You can play it on the upbeat too, but you got to have a little nail to do that. Okay? So when you're first learning it, turtle time. Okay? So I'll sing a verse or two of this blues song, and you just, as you hear me doing this, try that riff, and you'll hear how it sounds good with any type of blues song. It's one of them riffs, once you learn it, you don't want to forget it because it's a stock riff. Like, if you like Chuck Berry, you got to go. right? If you learn Chuck Berry, you got to know. Because he did that on every other song, and you could do it too on any rock song. So here we go. Banjoiki's Old Time Blues. Listen good, people, what the blues has done to me. Listen good, people, what the blues has done to me. Make me lose my mortgage, 25-year guarantee. And so you should be at home trying to go. Okay? I'll do one more verse for you. Blues jumped a rabbit, rode him for Silent Mound. Blues jumped a rabbit, rode him for Silent Mound. Well, the rabbit laid down, cried just like a natural child. Can you hear what I mean? So as those chords change, that riff is workable over any of those other chords. And you want to learn as many of those as you can because you get the most mileage from them. Okay?
That's a great lesson there, Rev. And the good news is they only have 100 other licks, and they'll be through the whole book, which I have right here. 101 ukulele licks by Lil Rev. Really is a great book. Breaks it down into multiple different keys, and you don't have to learn all 101 in a weekend. You start with one and get that in your wheelhouse and move on to the next. So that's a fabulous lesson, Rev, for just a few minutes here at Pop Up Uke. And it's always great to see you. Can we convince you for one more tune before things wrap up here?
Sure, I'd love to. I want to grab my soprano and I want to play a tune that I have a lot of fun with. The last, I don't know, a couple years here. I originally learned this on the harmonica for an album I put out of old-timey harmonica music. And recently, I decided I'd start playing on the ukulele, and it's just been a blast to play this tune. And this is going to be done in clawhammer style, so I'm going to be playing the ukulele like a banjo. Okay, I want to make sure everybody can see me here, so hang on a second. Let me just tweak this a little tiny bit. There we go. All right, so this is called On the Road to Boston. And this is a melody that originally was being played by the fife and drum players during the Civil War. And it was purportedly a song that was real popular amongst, I forget the regiment. It's not coming into my head right now. So I'll just shut up and play this. Okay, here we go.
Little Rev, everybody. On gallery view, you're getting a sitting cyber ovation there, Little Rev. It was fabulous. I just love the versatility of what you play, everything you play. It's been a joy over the years to be able to hang out with you and watch your uh, untiring work ethic. And that's one thing I really like about you is you practice and you love your teaching so much. And a joy to have you here at Pop Up Uke. As a matter of fact, I've got one suggestion for you, though. In addition, I think the follow-up to this 101 licks book should be 101 head gestures while playing blues licks, because you've got some good ones going on. You know. Hey, let's bring up. I got your share screen up here for. Why don't you tell us about some of the stuff that's coming up? I've got your uke webinar screen up on the share.
Sure. So these are classes that I will be offering in the next 2 months here, and a couple of them are already sold out. But tomorrow I'm doing the Gospel of Uke, which is exactly what it says: hymns, spirituals, and songs of faith. And these are all 90-minute webinars that I do on Zoom. They're paid classes. It's an attempt for me to kind of replace gigs that I would have had by trying to be out on the road and teach at music stores, just like you had been doing, Jim. And so the next one after tomorrow, and I got a nice group for tomorrow. But the next one is Intro to Improv. And this might be of interest to some of your students, Jim, because I'll be teaching a basic pentatonic use, a minor pentatonic, a little bit of blues scale, the hot box, how to just start really leaning on the flatted third for soloing over rock, blues, and country stuff. That's November 14th. That's a 90-minute class. And you can register for those right through my website at littlerev.com. And then the next one that's still open is November 30th, which is Uke and the Blues. This is a follow-up to my 1920s blues class. I'll be focusing on 1950s era repertoire, as well as riffs like the turnarounds and some of the classic blues riffs and songs of the 1950s, as well as strumming styles, triple strums, all kinds of cool stuff in there. And then after that, I'll be putting out a new schedule for January, February, and March. I'm not teaching in December; it's holiday time. And but that's what I'm doing with webinars is November 14th and November 30th. Your students can find me on Monday nights at Mead Library on Facebook. That's 6:30 Central Time. It's a free class. If you feel inclined to leave a tip, you can, but you don't have to. And that's Monday night, 6:30 Central Time at Mead Library, MEAD, in Sheboygan. A different subject every Monday night. And I have other things on my website that you can find. I don't want to slow you down anymore here. So thank you for having me and letting me share a little bit of what I'm up to, Jim. It's a mutual admiration society, and I appreciate everything you do. And I appreciate you getting people playing by ear and doing all the things you're doing. So keep it up.
Little Rev, everybody. Thanks, Rev. You're welcome, and you are officially a honorary popper here at Pop Up Uke.
All
So feel free to
right.
visit anytime, and have a great rest of the year and holiday season, and best to your family too.
I will do that. Thank you all so much. Be well, everybody. Stay healthy, okay?
All right, bye bye, Rev.
All right. Bye bye.
Well, what do you think about that, there, kids?
I'd like to say something.
Yes, go ahead.
I bought myself a bass guitar, and I've always wanted to learn the bass. I've been